right, speaking of heaven, Mo, dang near died in a Lyft, man.
I literally thought I was going to die in a car, and I take a lot of Lyft rides, but I've never been in fear for my life. Like, this made me actually consider being serious about getting a car now.
Really?
It was that serious.
The ride was that bad?
It was horrible. It was the worst ride ever. And I've never even given a bad review in Lyfts. Normally, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. And this was the first time where, like, across the board, I was like, I'm going to save somebody else the trouble and make sure that they know this guy should not be driving people around. So it was extremely awkward from the moment I got in the car. I knew it was going to be one of those. And it's ironic because I'm not much of a luxury Lyft guy. I don't really care that much. But in this particular day, I guess it was something with the traffic and the way things were going. The luxury ride was actually cheaper than the regular ride. So I'm excited about this. I'm like, this never happens. I'm about to pull up in style. So I go downstairs. It's a brand new Tesla, beautiful car. I get in thinking this is going to be the best Lyft ride of my life. And immediately, I get in, and the guy, like, turns around and stares at me real awkwardly for maybe 5 seconds. But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say, like, hello, nothing. Just staring at me. So now we're, like, just both awkwardly staring at each other. Like, what are we doing? So I'm like, hello? So he goes, is that water? And I have a water. It's a water bottle. So I imagine you would assume it's water. Mm-hmm. I don't know if maybe he picks people up when they have water bottles, but it's actually alcohol. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want. And I thought maybe he just didn't want drinks in his car, which that happens. And so it's fine. I'll put the water bottle away. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's water. So he's like, oh, okay, because you know. And then he starts telling me about how I guess it's illegal to bring alcohol into a Lyft in Georgia. And I never heard of this, but he's spent 2 minutes giving me the entire law. Like, he knew it word for word.
I thought he was going to ask you for, like, a swig. Which would have been equally weird.
I don't think he needed another one, which is kind of where the story is going.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm like, it's water, bro. Like, you want to smell it? What do you want me to do here? And he's like, no, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then he turns around and he pulls off kind of aggressively. So now it's like we've already gotten off with the wrong foot. I'm back there just completely uncomfortable. Then he gets a phone call. So, like in Teslas, they have what appear to be like almost like they're big screens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really big screens. So he gets a phone call. I'm assuming it's his wife. And he takes the phone call, which, okay, fine. You talking to your wife. I don't care. But they immediately start arguing. I mean, like, There was no grace period.
Now, can you see her face on the screen, or is this just an audio call?
This is an audio call, but it's her picture.
All right.
So he goes, again? I'm at work! And he's just, like, almost at the top of his lungs yelling, I'm at work. And she sounds calm, but she's trying to say something to him, and then he just keeps yelling, I keep telling you I'm at work. Stop calling me while I'm at work. Jeez. And then he hangs up the phone. And then I'm thinking, like, okay, he's going to say, like, sorry for that stuff. Nothing. Just continues to drive. Then he goes, you ever heard of this guy? I don't remember the guy's name. Just says, like, a random name of a guy I've never heard of in my life. So now I don't know if we're friends or not. Because I'm like, no, I've never heard of him. He's like, he's a really good rapper. So he turns it on. And then it's like this political rapper who starts rapping about all kinds of things that I just didn't want to listen to in the Lyft. He's rapping about how racism isn't real. And, like, he's going on and on about just a bunch of offensive political things.
So I think at this point it's appropriate to ask the question, is the driver white or is he black?
He was maybe Middle Eastern.
Okay.
I would assume.
All right.
And he puts it on, and then he just says, I think this guy is so good. People don't like him because they think he's offensive, but I think he's great.
Ooh.
So now I'm like, okay, what kind of message are you trying to send? Are you doing? But I'm not engaging. I'm just not doing. I just want to get to my destination. Just when I thought that was enough, the dude gets on the highway and starts doing. I mean, literally, because you can, like, the big screen, you can see how fast the car is going, like clear as day. At one point, he's doing 97.
What?
97 miles per hour.
Were you not screaming from the back, like, slow the bleep down?
So at one point, I did. Like, at first, he started, like, kind of zooming in and out of traffic, probably doing 70 or 8. And that's when I was like, all right, bro, like, what are you doing? Then when he picked it up and I saw 90,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I know I'm not. So I'm like, my man, you mind slowing down a little bit? Just
Yeah.
a little bit. Like,
I'm not in any rush.
Like, personally, you're dropping me off, and I'm not in a rush. So why are we
Dropping
doing
you
this?
off at a funeral.
Right? So he goes, oh, yeah, sorry. And then just keeps going the same exact speed.
Oh, man.
I mean, doesn't slow down a little bit. And almost every time he comes up to behind a car, it's like it's heartbreaking. So I'm in the back end whiplash every time. And I'm holding on to the seat in front of me. And he probably did at least over 75 the entire way there and would not slow down no matter how many times I asked. I was legit in fear for my life.
So when you get out of the car, how do you two part ways?
There was no discussion. I don't even think this car had stopped by the time I opened the door.
Tuck and roll, baby.
Rolled about that car.
Tiffany and I took a vacation Key West one weekend, and when we got out of the airport, we got into a Lyft also, and it was a dude he must have been in his 70s, Florida-looking dude too, man, just like all pruned out, like, what was that woman's name in Something About Mary?
Oh, Magda?
Magda? Yeah, looked like her, right? All hunched over and stuff, but I'm like, okay, it's our Lyft driver. So we start driving to the Keys. This dude could not he wasn't drunk. He was just old, and he could not keep the car on the road. He was swerving to the right and swerving to the left, and we were both so nervous. I literally said to him, dude, do you want me to drive?
I got it, man.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched? Well, you can get way more of The Bert Show on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.